one of the big misunderstandings of the long tail was that it was the end of the blockbuster. It's not. It's the end of the monopoly of the blockbuster. Old media you can define as the sort of the actual mechanisms of distribution themselves, and also the concept of mass media. The mechanisms: radio, television, print, silver discs in the form of CDs, etc. Those will change. Those will change. The content, some of which was of truly mass appeal, and others which just took advantage of these sort of monopolies over mass distribution, that's also going to change. But what will not change is that we're going to continue to have a combination of common culture and specific culture, the general and the narrow and specific. What you're finding is that mass media, the things we do well, the things that really deserve the mass audiences, will continue to find those audiences. Maybe in a different medium, but they'll continue to succeed. The things that turned out not to really add value, that turned out to really be an artifact of those monopoly channels of distribution, those will go away. So when I look at the local newspaper in San Francisco, what you see is a combination of AP wire service stuff, which is a commodity, and clearly, the only reason that's being printed on paper 18 hours late is that there's a legacy audience that still wants to read their news that way. And then there's the unique content, which is focusing on local community, whatever, and that's not a commodity, but it's hard to figure out how you're going to pay for it if people migrate away from the print editions. So I think that's a case where we're now realizing which aspects of what we used to do add value and which do not. And as we reform these media organizations around our ability to build 21st century business models, they'll probably be smaller. They'll probably will do less, in terms of traditional content creation, and more in terms of community building around our brands. Monthly magazines, right now, at least of the kind that we do, are sort of very glossy visual media. They do something the web can't do. The web, it's hard to do 8,000 word articles with design and photography, etc. on the web. It all gets sort of fragmented and turns into thumbnails. So paper continues to be a good medium for visual approaches like that, and our audiences grow. Our circulation is up for most of our titles. The challenge is, how do you pay for it? As there's more and more inventory out there, more and more ways for advertisers to reach audiences, we may find pressure on our ad rates and the volume. And so, we too control brands, and we too are going to have to find ways to build business models that go beyond advertising.